Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Kalonda Casey. I am 64 years young and yes, I am in my kitchen. I want to thank you for being here. You all are amazing subscribers and you're very supportive of everything and I just enjoy you so much. So before we get into the video, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. And I look forward to seeing those comments and answering them. Now, what are we talking about today? We are talking about my GLP-1 journey and what I eat in a day to get more protein into my diet. I am sure you all have heard protein, protein, protein. And did you know we're supposed to have between 80 and 100 grams of protein a day, bare minimum? Did you know that? It can be difficult to get that amount of protein in your body every day. But I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, show you a couple of things that I am making, and just tell you things that are really good for your body and really high in protein. I don't worry so much about my calorie content. I just worry about the protein. I have been on a weight loss journey for many months, probably since June. I had to stop during both of my hip replacements, and so that took about 3 months away from the journey, maybe 4. So I am really actively going for losing the last 8 to 10 pounds, which I call the hard weight. Really is. And eating high protein is going to help me. So without further ado, let's hop into the video and you can see what this is all about. I just got back from the grocery store and I wanted to show you what I have purchased for most of the week, possibly for the entire week. Everything I buy, I'm trying to make nutrition dense or high protein. And so I bought some grass-fed ground beef. I really like it. And if you do not know the store H-E-B, H-E-B is our store that we love in Texas. And if you know, you know, it's one of the best grocery stores on the planet. And so I got the ground beef and I always get the 85-15. If I buy it like 90-10 or 93-7, it's just so dry. I don't like it. I got some pasture-raised air chilled chicken. I love this brand by Mary's. It's chicken heirloom. And I will be using this in a dish this week that, of course, I'll be showing you all. I got some smoked salmon for lunches for me. I love that stuff. And I'm not a huge salmon lover, but I love these Fiesta Jalapeno salmon burgers. We really like these. They're really high in protein. I think they have 27 grams. And then I bought the Mary's organic ground chicken. Really like this. I'm really funny about chicken. And of course, I buy a rotisserie chicken once a week. And we eat on this for several different meals, and it's a really good source, a very quick source of protein for me, and I really like these. I love cottage cheese, but I especially love the Good Culture cottage cheese. It's the best in my opinion. I love it. I bought some whipped plain cream cheese spread, some Fage Greek yogurt. I prefer this over the sweetened yogurt. I just don't care for the sweetened yogurt that much because it always has a bitter aftertaste, and I can make this however I want, and I can substitute this for sour cream. Cold brew coffee, and so that I can make proffies and show you all how I make those. And I got the salted caramel from Premier Protein. I don't love protein shakes, but I like mixing this together. Okay, I am taking the rice paper. I have wet it so that it is pliable. And I'm taking about a tablespoon of cream cheese, spreading that right down the center. I'm just taking the salmon and putting that down the center. And then cucumbers and green onions. And a bunch of arugula. And some chili crunch. If you have not bought chili crunch and you like spicy, that's delicious. This is amazing. And so then what you do is you kind of wrap it like an egg roll or a burrito. And I'm not making it perfect. And look at that. That just looks so good. I can't wait to dig in. I would like to thank Mochi Health for sponsoring the portion of this video. I get asked over and over again how I can afford my GLP-1 weight loss journey. And my answer to that is finding Mochi Health, which is an online provider and has been an affordable answer for so many of us. It's really a simple process. Everything's handled online and the cost of the medication is much lower than many other providers. The monthly subscription rate is $79. Now, if you decide to go with a longer term plan, the cost of the monthly subscription does go lower. If you decide to go on semaglutide, that is an additional $99 a month. Or if you decide to go on tirzepatide, that is $199 more per month. And keep in mind that those are both compounded formulas. It's so easy to get started. First, you fill out all the online medical forms. Then you make an appointment to meet with the Mochi Health medical doctor. And I have to say it is a very thorough appointment. And then between you and your doctor, you will decide which medication you feel is right for you. And then once you decide on the medication, it will be mailed to you. And so it's a very simple process. Here's another thing I love. Their customer service is available 24/7, which is so wonderful and easy to use because we might have questions that come up after hours or on the weekends. Now, if you use my link and my code, you can get $40 off your first month subscription, which is wonderful. So it takes it from $79 to $39. If you have been considering starting a weight loss journey, I highly recommend Mochi Health to start on your way to get healthier today. Hey everyone, it is now dinner time and I am getting ready to make the salmon patties, and I'm going to make these Goodles for myself with a brown butter bone broth on top of it with some cheese. And I will be making my husband some potatoes in the air fryer, and we are having fresh asparagus. So come along with me. Everything is seasoned and ready to go into the oven. And while that is cooking, I am going to make this brown butter bone broth for my noodles tonight. If you've ever watched me cook, you know I can measure with my heart. And so I just browned the butter. It takes about a minute to do that. And it's very easy to do. And when it stops making the bubbling sound, that's when it is ready. I'm just adding 1 package of the bare bones bone broth and I'm browning it up. And when it gets to the desired color, then I will add 1 of the ladles of the pasta water right into this. And then I just let it simmer until I'm ready to add my pasta. The pasta is high protein and you would never know it. I will make sure to put that in the links down below. I just thought it was delicious. And then I cut up some basil and then added some Parmesan cheese, and boy was that ever delicious. And look at this beautiful asparagus. It's cooked to perfection. And then the salmon patty I was telling you all about, delicious. Bon appetit. Doesn't this look wonderful? So high in protein, fiber. Oh, it's just wonderful. Anyway, I probably will not eat another thing until tomorrow, so I'll see you then. Good morning. It is the next day and I have a busy day today, so I really need to get my protein started. It is now 5 after 9, and I'm also having a little bit of an off day, so I'm not gonna eat a ton of food, but I'm gonna eat something that I really like in the mornings, and it's so easy. It's cottage cheese and yogurt. That may sound gross to you, but if you haven't tried it, you should give it a chance. And I always use a food scale, so I'm setting my food scale to 0, and I am going to put 110 grams of cottage cheese, and I'm using the 0% Whey yogurt. It has 16 grams of protein for this whole container. I forgot to tell you about the cottage cheese. And I am only going to use half. What I do is I set my scale back to 0, and then I'm going to add in 75 grams. So I mix that up, and I'm going to cut up some fresh strawberries and wash some raspberries. Okay, I have my breakfast bowl ready to eat, and I'm going to show you a little tip and trick for getting another 20 grams of protein in throughout the day. I love this Grams protein powder. Yes, it is expensive. I'm not going to lie to you, but I have a really hard time with protein powders, but this one is really delicious. There's no grittiness to it. There's no aftertaste. I really like it. This one's the strawberry acai, and it has 20 grams of protein for serving. I have my 12 ounces of water, and I have it in a container that I can shake. You do not stir this protein powder. So I'm gonna get 1 scoop. I have it in the peach tea as well. Yummy. Lid on tight, and then what I do is I shake it for 15-20 seconds, and then you let it sit until all the bubbles are gone. The main thing about eating protein is a lot of times it's really hard to get all of the chewing in, if you understand what I'm talking about. So that means that you're eating a lot of food. So sometimes you have to add in drinks that have protein in them. So I have something like this every single day, and I limit it to 1 because I don't want all the artificial protein coming into my body. I'm trying to get it through nutrient-dense foods. Okay, this is one surefire way of getting my water intake in. So what I do is I take about that much, and that's probably about half of the container, and then I'll fill this up with water, and so that I sip on this throughout the day. I keep the other container in the refrigerator, and I come back throughout the day and continue to add it into my water. That is a good way to get your water down because it flavors the water and it tastes good and you're getting protein. It's been a long day, and today is a splurge day. I am having a baker potato that I made with a lot of protein on top of it. And so, bon appetit, everybody. Well, hello, everyone. Hello, I'm so glad to be back. I am making eggs, scrambled eggs with cottage cheese in them. And before you sneer your nose to it, it's actually very good. You can't even tell the cottage cheese is in there. And it's just a great way to get a lot more protein. I'm making 5 eggs. Not for myself, for my husband and myself. And bacon. Okay, I'm gonna whip up these eggs and then add in the cottage cheese. And just when I'm in a hurry, this is just a great way. And it's actually almost 11. So this is my first meal of the day. I put in a pretty sizable chunk of cottage cheese. I've added some avocado oil to my frying pan, and now I am adding the scrambled egg mixture into the pan. I cook the scrambled eggs on a medium flame because it doesn't do well if you go higher with it. Cooking it lower and slower allows the moisture from the cottage cheese to evaporate. So just know that it does take quite a bit longer to scramble up these eggs to allow the moisture to go away and for the cheese to melt, but it's delicious. This is my breakfast. Of course, have a lot of eggs and some of these great cherry tomatoes, 2 slices of bacon, and then for water, I have this bubbly water. So bon appetit, lots of protein to get moving for the rest of the day. Hi friends, I am back in the kitchen and this is going to be my final meal for this video, and tonight I am using the ground chicken and the ground beef to make taco bowls, and so I will be using 1/2 pound of each and I will season it up and it's going to be wonderful. We love Mexican food and I'm trying to keep it on the lower carb side, and so come along with me and let's go. Let's start by slicing up an onion and a red bell pepper. That is my preference, and I do not chop them up. I definitely slice them. I just like the look of it better. I think it's prettier when you put it onto the bowls, and of course it all tastes the same no matter how you do it, but I like to slice them into strips and try and use as much of everything as I possibly can. And we like the red peppers better than the green. The green peppers upset my stomach. I like the flavor of them, but I can't eat them. But anyway, I just slice it this way, and then those will be sauteed into a pan, and you'll get to see that in a little while. And of course, I have to slice up a jalapeno. I do take out the seeds on the inside and the white membranes because then it can get way too spicy. They are now in my frying pan and they look great. And I cook these over moderate heat, and I do add some seasoning as we go along. And here I am cleaning my lettuce, and I will chop that later. Beef and ground chicken, which we like much better than ground turkey. Fresh avocado with lime over it. I make my own refried beans and my own pinto beans. I sauteed up some bell pepper and onion. I grate my own cheese because I don't like the store-bought, but we'll use it in a pinch. This salsa is amazing. And then I pulled out some chips for my husband that he can put on top of his, and so it's going to be bon appetit. If you are still here, I want to thank you for sticking with me on this video. I know this isn't for everyone, but if you are curious and you hear that word GLP-1 in the news all of the time, maybe you are. If you're curious about protein, maybe I've answered some questions and have helped you. And I love to cook, and I know a lot of people do not. Restaurants are catching on. I see high protein options all the time on menus, which I love. And so anyway, before I close, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave a comment. And if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments. And don't forget to check my link for Mochi Health so you can get started on your health journey today. I will see you the next time. Bye.